Yo.
Hey, yo.
Welcome in, everyone, to a special frigid edition of the Quarantine Kings Pro at my side of the studio. Hope you guys had a good and safe weekend. A lot of good sports, obviously, with the penultimate weekend of the NFL Final Four. UFC 257, Conor McGregor is back. Well, for now, he was back, and now who knows? He might go fight a horse in international waters now for the right paycheck.
I'd watch it.
But a lot of good stuff. Some FA Cup action over the weekend, and just you kind of love. I still, like I said, I'm kind of digging the Super Wild Card. So now I don't know. That might be my favorite weekend. But when you're getting down to just all the teams left are good, So you just got from noon to 6 o'clock. You're gonna have good football on.
For you, the NFL peaked a couple weeks ago. Now it's just all downhill.
Yeah, this is just the riffraff,
Yeah.
I do have my gloves too. Oh, speaking of gloves, where did I put it?
Speaking of gloves, Gary Payton, ladies and gentlemen.
The glove is on line one. Oh, where is it?
Oh no!
I'm gonna find it.
Failed. Oh no! And
oh, here we go. Just wanted to bust this out.
Your camera got knocked around. Your audio's a little off right now.
Hold on. Better.
There we go. That's better.
Okay, sweet. Busted out this little beauty. Got this on Amazon over the weekend.
Sorry, Justin. It came to me. I had to say it.
A red golf glove.
Nah.
So even though I'm gonna be out there hitting my crappy 100, I'm gonna look even more like a jackass with my red glove. And I don't even have any other red golf stuff too, so I'm gonna be wearing all black with one red glove.
Hey, there you go. Red and black. Don't turn your back on the Wolfpack.
That's right. Damn straight. This thing is a beauty, though. And actually, I do have these little toastier gloves that I'm probably going to throw on right now. It's just damn cold. But thank you guys for joining us. Like I said, we got lots to talk about. Tyler, how was your weekend? How are you doing on this Monday?
It was great, man. Got to watch a lot of sports. Weirdly enough, spent a lot of time listening to Oasis. I don't know why. I just had the urge to listen to What's the Story Morning Glory, and I listened to it twice this weekend. I don't know why.
Don't look back in anger, fool.
Yeah, I heard you say. But no, it was good, man. Again, got to watch a lot of sports. Some good FA Cup action. West Ham getting the FA Cup easy victory, which never happens.
That was nice to see. They need to be kicking the crap out of those kind of teams.
Yeah, no, it was a good weekend, man. How was yours?
Same. I mean, just a nice weekend of sports. Nice weekend, personally. Producer Tanaya's birthday was over the weekend.
That's right.
Actually went out to the first time I've had it. Although I've had similar stuff, but I didn't know what I was getting into at first. Russian restaurant.
Ooh.
And it was delicious, actually. Very Russian, also. Everyone, even that was just there as a patron, spoke Russian except for us. So it was pretty legit.
Nice.
But there's a lot of crossover, with Eastern European and then kind of Middle Easternish sort of food too, a lot of lamb shanks. But then you have pierogies and they had those cabbage roll things.
Oh yeah,
it was delicious. But and now I'm on vacation, so there's that.
Beautiful. Gotta love that.
But let's dive into the comments if I can do it with this glove on. I'm really going to try to make this work with the glove because it's so much nicer in here. We got Suck It Mosquitoes. I see you, Nick. Thanks for tuning in. Guess Oh, here it comes with the snap-a-thon on Aaron Rodgers. I'm expecting your worst. Keep it coming.
Yeah.
That fool went out like a punk ass.
Stop.
After the game.
Yep.
I guess he's going to have to start shooting some more State Farm commercials. Well, he's got time. No time like the present.
That's true.
I guess Rodgers didn't give the refs the Rodgers rate. Yeah? No, there is no Rodgers rate. It doesn't exist. You see the commercial.
That's right.
Everyone gets the same rate. Suck It Analytics. Shout out LaFleur. Oof. And, Tyler, this is Justin's comment from earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, Justin. If we would let you know in advance, all right? If we really had Gary Payton,
we'd have you on as soon as the show started if he was going to be coming on.
Yeah. Yeah, we just have him talk, and both of us would not even be on the screen.
Exactly.
I would be in the comments with you guys, like, "What's up, Glove? Big fan. Too embarrassed to talk to you."
Right.
A couple more here before we dive into some of the odds and ends. Yes, I did manufacture the red glove eventually. Was able to produce that. Strike a Bernie Sanders pose. I don't have my mask, or else I would. The best one still was the one they put of him outside Canada Steakburg. I should have got that picture for you guys.
That one was good. That was good, yeah.
That one, on a personal level, that one spoke to me of all the other ones.
And on a sponsorship level, it spoke to us as well.
And, oh, boy, Arkansas Slim is here to collect. Yeah, well, we'll work it out. Me and Arkansas Slim kind of have a misunderstanding.
It's going to be some furniture move, boy.
Walter about to serve Ronnie his plate. If he dies, probably.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it, though. Like I said, we're a lot of football and UFC to get to, but I just wanted to hit some of the odds and ends, things I enjoyed over the weekend. As Tyler said, we had FA Cup. Shout out West Ham, getting it done. Looking like even, the subs and the guys that don't really get in, the backups, they all played really well. Did it end 4-0 or 5-0?
4-0.
Because I felt like they probably could have scored 6 or 7 at certain points. I mean, they were just putting it on those poor lads, the Rovers,
the Doncaster Rovers. Yeah, look, it's something that we haven't seen from West Ham. In the last few years, it's like no one would play their starters in a game like this and still find a way to lose. This year, it was 4 or 5 normal starters didn't even play. Suchek played 60-something minutes and got to sit for a bit. They got in 3 guys that are making their first ever appearance at the first team in West Ham, including one of the guys who actually just 24 hours earlier played in one of their U23 games. So
what a game!
Shout out there. And they still won 4-0. Like, that just doesn't happen. So it's I was kind of Ronnie and I were texting a little bit like,
that's encouraging.
You know what? Pay the Moisaya. Pay the Moisaya.
Pay the man.
He has absolutely earned it. Like, look, I won't even lie. I was hesitant when he came on. Like, I remember his he's got not the best track record. I remember his last time with West Ham, he saved them from relegation, and then they just kind of went back into
he was like the caretaker guy. Just like the classic Big Sam gig. Like, we need somebody.
Yeah, but I mean, the players love him. This team has an identity, which we haven't seen for 4 or 5 years. Everybody's playing well. Like, that's another thing, is it looks like players are trying. Fucking pay the man. Like,
well, and I told Tyler when we were texting during the game, the thing is, like Tyler said, this is kind of a year where they can't prioritize just the FA Cup because they have a pretty good position in the league, so they need
actually doing well. Yeah.
They need their best guys there, especially if you want to have like an outside chance of reaching up into one of those European competition spots for next year. But so when you bring in youth team players or backups that don't always play, especially not together, even if the regular team is on a pretty good run of games right now, those guys haven't been part of that same momentum, so it's not like you can just like plug it all in. But it still seemed pretty cohesive. I mean, they just overran Doncaster, so I was happy about that.
Yeah, and then just a couple other scores that kind of caught my eye from the FA Cup this weekend was Southampton beating Arsenal 1-0, and then Man U beating Liverpool in what was actually a really entertaining game as opposed to their last game, 3-2.
Yeah, I know. They finally figured it out. Thank goodness.
Yeah, Salah got a couple goals for Liverpool, but it wasn't enough. Like, they've still got a lot of issues with that roster, especially injuries on their back line. So now that means that I think second weekend of February, West Ham is going to do United. So that'll be a tough game, but I feel better about it. I feel better about it than I have it in recent years.
The dreaded FA Cup replay.
And not this year. No replays this year. No
replays. Okay. All right.
It's one game. You go to extra time and you go to penalties. That's it.
One other just weird thing that I just stumbled upon in my weird, Wikipedia rabbit hole. Paul Pogba, I saw played the exact same amount of games for Man U as he did for Juventus. Well, technically, those were 3 senior games when he was coming up from the youth team. So I guess he's 3 past. Right. So he's off the pace. He's way off the pace. No,
that's right.
He scored the exact same amount of goals. So that I just thought that was weird. Like, over that many games, you would think it wouldn't come out exactly the same, but yet it has.
The man is nothing if not consistent.
He is consistent.
Absolutely.
For Chelsea as well. His first time out managing like a big team, some people were saying like, I don't know, this is more of like a legacy kind of hire when they're bringing him in. But he got his, whatever the UEFA coaching license is where he can coach at the top flight. And really only gave him 18 months. I mean, they have been struggling. The rumors are kind of going around for a couple of weeks here. And unfortunately, today, the chop came down. So sacked in the morning. I guess you could have sang that yesterday for old Frankie. But Tyler showed me this, which I thought was great. So, they always have to make a statement. We're mutually parting ways. We wish him well, blah, 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 whatever. Any coach anywhere that gets fired. And one enterprising Reddit user put this together. He actually has gone through the last 9 firings here by Chelsea and the statement that was put out. Just pay special attention to the one at the very top because did not include any thanks for the effort. We wish him well in the future. He's always welcome back at Stamford Bridge. No, and it was only 16 words long.
Which, ironically, he did come back to Stamford Bridge a few years later.
He did. But, Mourinho, in the high times, it's great. In the low times, it's like you can't take your eyes off it like a car crash. And usually when it ends in flames. So you see he got a 16-word kick out the door. No mention of either of those 3 phrases that are so often used there. But at least, they're back on the track of wishing their fired coaches well for the future. They've got 3 in a row now.
I think the statement was just Mourinho, no, get the fuck out. No. Oh,
God, no. Like, we have to put a stop to this. Thank you. Goodbye. No, there was no thank you, though.
There was, yeah. I don't recall saying good luck.
So, and also weird. I mean, if you think about what's happened with Solskjaer at Man U, where he was like kind of on the hot seat there. They weren't playing very well. They wrote it out with him, another former legend player. And now he's got him, kicking ass. And I mean, it seemed like it was promising. Lampard was bringing in a lot of guys, young players. I wouldn't say a rebuild because these teams have money to rebuild like in a year or even one transfer window sometimes. But 18 months and that's it. So that's a tough look. I'm sure I'll be back if he wants to coach again, but I would assume he's probably going to take some time off.
Well, I mean, you're definitely right about the having the money to rebuild. I saw that this past transfer window, the summer transfer window, they spent over £222 million on 5 players. But when you spend that much, then you're sitting in 9th place.
Yeah, you're going to need a little bit more to show for it in that case.
I would just say, like, if you have a subscription to the Athletic, they had a really good long article about all the issues going on, between him and kind of everybody at Chelsea. I just recommend reading that. Really good.
The bridges were definitely burning.
The Stamford bridges were burning.
You could say that, but
yeah, there we go.
And one other thing, this was just a funny tweet that got sent to me over the weekend, and I just love it too much. Dan Campbell, new Lions head coach, looks like he's stressed about getting half a dozen F-150s sold by the end of the week. He does look like a dude that works at a car dealership. He doesn't look like a guy that should ever be in a suit, nor does he look like a guy that wants to be in a suit. I think that's a glare, but I like to imagine that's also a laser coming out of the Lions logo mouth. And they should go with that. Like, they should run with that.
I dig that, actually.
Yeah, I like that. They're already Lions. Lions that could shoot lasers, though. Nobody's messing with that.
No, not at all. And they bite kneecaps, too. So
he's trying to toughen up their image. So maybe he pushed for that. He's like, no, we want lasers everywhere. Maybe can we get a gun in his hand? Let's make this lion even crazier than a killing machine it already is.
Let's put some teardrop tattoos underneath the lion's eye. Just
exactly. Yeah, we'll see some shit. But all power to you. Good luck, Dan, with the kneecap biting over there in Detroit.
That's right.
Moving on, let's get to the Fight Doctor. We did have the first pay-per-view in UFC of the year, 257, the return of Conor McGregor, and a rematch, with Poirier. But again, as everything with McGregor these days, for one, it's been a long time since he's fought, and for two, a really long time since these two fought. So, as we were saying going into it, both are going to look different. You don't know what to expect. Conor looked like he was in good shape. Poirier's obviously learned a lot over the time in between. I mean, we're talking 6 years here. So let's check in with the fight doctor and let's get right into it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
this is the main event of the evening.
the heavyweight champion of the world.
Woo, tang, woo, tang. So here you have it. This is the part of the main event, and then the bottom one got cut off, so I have it in a separate picture. But we'll start here at the top. Also, I like that ESPN does this little damage map. You can see the leg; it's looking a little yellow.
Oh
and
boy,
the head. But yeah, Tyler, the fight doctor, take us through this.
yeah. So again, UFC 257. Obviously, everything was kind of built on the main event there of Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier. I thought the funny thing, I saw some stuff online about how 89% of the bets were going towards McGregor, which it's not uncommon. Like, the dude's a massive draw, but also I think over half his fan base is people that only watch Conor McGregor fights. Again, if he got you into the sport, I'm totally with that. But I have a massive issue with a lot of his fan base as well as him. But yeah, I mean, they came out. Look, McGregor looked good off the bat, man. First round, he came out, looking sharp. I think it was pretty surprising. Poirier went for a takedown really early. I think that kind of surprised both fighters. But McGregor was able to work his way off the fence, throwing a couple of those crazy shoulders in the clinch that he threw against Cowboy. But at that point in time, Poirier, again, he's a much different fighter than he was. I would actually argue that Conor is the same fighter that he was in 2014, which was part of the problem. Poirier started throwing those leg kicks, and it didn't take long to realize, McGregor, he took 5 or 6 leg kicks, and you could already see it was affecting him.
Oh man, he got the crap. Tyler sent me this. Was a great tweet as well, but look, there's not really blood involved. It's just gross. But this is what that leg was looking like.
Oh God!
I mean, he beat the crap out of that thing, and his leg, of course. You'll do fucking nothing.
But yeah, so I mean, once he started doing the leg kicks, again, you could see it really affected Conor. They go into the second round. Poirier keeps throwing the leg kicks. At which point in time, Conor, he's never been a guy to check leg kicks. That's just not his thing. Which again, that's part of the problem. And you can see once it really affected him, he started focusing on just trying to catch Poirier's leg instead of, going for, checking the leg kicks or even counter punching. It was really weird, especially when he, twice he caught Poirier's leg and held it up and then just did nothing. He just let Poirier stand there on one foot instead of, maybe trying to strike again while he had a foot up. I don't know. But then eventually he finally caught Conor. Finished him TKO. First time Conor has been TKO'd in his career. I'm sure everybody saw all the sleeping Conor memes this weekend. Big win for Poirier, obviously. Ron and I were talking before the show. I almost feel like, yeah, exactly. I almost feel like Conor at this point in time, he is the beginning of Rocky 3, where Rocky.
This could go either way.
Rocky starts wearing all the suits. He starts, getting real comfortable. He doesn't have that fire anymore. Now it's okay, where's he going to go? Is he going to go the Apollo Creed route and just eventually retire? Is he going to go the Rocky route, get hungry again, start taking more fights instead of once a year? Then as for Poirier, I guess we could actually get into this with the co-main event as well. But in the co-main event, Michael Chandler just destroyed Dan Hooker. I was shocked at how just scared and nervous Hooker looked. Chandler just goes out there, destroys him, TKOs him. An absolutely impressive UFC debut, one of the best UFC debuts I can recall. And then afterwards, of course, Chandler calls out the entire lightweight division, called out McGregor, called out Poirier, called out everybody. I'm not usually a guy that likes to put somebody into the title fight after one win, but yes, he is. I've never seen so many dead hookers in all my life.
Lord knows I have.
But Poirier himself even said the same. He goes, look, the guy you beat, I beat too. Like, I want to see more than one fight from you. Poirier doesn't really like the Chandler fight right now. I wouldn't object to them fighting for the title because it's very evident Khabib's not coming back. It has been evident Khabib's not coming back. I wouldn't be against them, but, man, the lightweight division is so stacked and it's such a logjam at top. You could – there's more guys you got to take into consideration. Justin Gaethje, who was dominating everybody until he ran into Khabib. Guess what? Everybody is dominating everybody until they run into Khabib.
Yeah.
Charles Oliveira's on an 8-fight winning streak. He's beaten some good fighters. Tony Ferguson's not really in that debate anymore because he has 2 losses where he got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of really curious to see where they go from here. Like, Poirier kind of seems to think like I should have the belt, which I'm not necessarily against. There's a bit of lockdown, so I'm really interested to see what happens with the lightweight division going from here. And then, of course, where does Conor go from here? I thought all the bullshit online. Is Conor washed up? Like, first of all, he just lost to a dude that's probably the lightweight champ. Like, that doesn't make you washed up.
And everyone is, of course, clowning him because, he does run his mouth, so it comes back the other way.
Oh, look, that part's fine. I got no problem with people clowning him for that. But, like, all the washed up talk, like, come on, dude. Like, Poirier beats just about everybody in the division the same way. So,
yeah.
I'm kind of curious to see where he goes. I did read a pretty good article that kind of laid out, like, three of the most likely options, which is the trilogy fight with Nate Diaz, the trilogy fight with Poirier, which is probably the risky one right now, or the wild card, which is he could fight Tony Ferguson and kind of like the loser, is pretty much out of the top of the lightweight division. I wouldn't mind the Diaz fight, and that's if he wants to stick with MMA. Maybe he wants to go, fuck off and fight Jake Paul, or maybe he just wants to retire. Maybe he retires and just runs his whiskey business and stays a family man. I don't know, but I'm really interested to see where he goes from here.
I can't stop looking at the graphic. It's like some kind of crazy superhero. I wish I had the Bounty Gate clip. Affect the head. Let's play that on a loop right there. Affect the head.
But there were some other good fights on the main event. I didn't really get to catch much of the preliminary card, mostly just the main event. Shout out to Joanne Calderwood, who got the unanimous decision over Jessica Ai. It was actually a pretty entertaining fight, which I would say getting Jessica Ai to have an entertaining fight is an accomplishment in itself, let alone actually winning. Then in the opening fight of the main card, we had Marina Rodriguez beating Amanda Kibas by TKO. Very surprising, but Rodriguez just absolutely just dropped her, knocked her out. I'm kind of curious where that puts her in the strawweight division, because the women's strawweight division is the one division in the women's that isn't just like there's one person and then everybody else. So I'm interested to see where Rodriguez goes from here. I think she was ranked 8th going into this, so she'll probably jump in top 5. And then just one last thing that I wanted to bring attention to was in the prelim fights, Juliana Pena, she beat Sarah McMahon by submission rear naked choke. Afterwards, she called out the champion Amanda Nunes, claiming that Nunes was ducking her, which Amanda Nunes and her wife, Nina Ansarov, responded on Twitter with some pretty good clowning there, pointing out that the 2 times that Pena was, one step away from fighting Nunes, she lost her fights.
And that's a clapback.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, the other thing I do want to talk about, just as an overall story, just not Dana's best weekend, especially he's come out this year. It's come out hot against the streamers, and as soon as the pay-per-view started, the ESPN app went.
That was my score. That was my scorecard right here in the Internet versus Dana fight.
That's how I have it, Jim.
Yeah.
He was getting blasted on Wikipedia. They edited the card results. Spinning back heel to that big red egg-shaped head. I have not still seen an explanation. I know, they do. We were talking about this before the show. I don't know if it was some kind of coordinated thing, like a denial of service attack on the ESPN server by streamers or whatever. People that just want to troll Dana. But definitely not a great look. I mean, it was affecting like everyone for a while there, at least at the beginning. J.J. Watt letting his feelings be known. And a couple nice tweets on that. I enjoyed this one a lot, because this guy was like, Dana's just going this crusade against streamers. First pay-per-view.
Oh, man.
And that's all ESPN Plus had for a little bit there.
Yeah,
and,
that's a rough look.
It was awkward. It was awkward.
Yeah.
But Dana's. I mean, he's not hurting for money here. Definitely got some eyes on it with McGregor.
Well, somebody please think of poor Dana White.
Yeah, man, he's struggling out there. Cocaine's not cheap. But
Not cheap.
I gotta have that one still. I think I do. So
Cocaine isn't cheap.
true facts. But this was just funny because for multiple reasons. Because Dana's obviously like so hoping and wishing he can get Khabib. I mean, he's not like officially retired. That's what Dana keeps saying.
He's retired.
And he's retired. I mean, he's a very low-key guy. If anyone would not come back and like force it back, it would be him. But this was just a funny video that Tyler sent me.
ESPN app. Yeah. Buy. It's only $70.
We have Russian link.
You have a link?
Like
you don't have enough money to spend.
Never pay for it.
You have so much money. You can't give me $70.
Even Khabib's like, nah, I got a Russian link. I got the hookup. And then, of course, America's sweetheart, my favorite, Derek Lewis, had to get in a little blast on Instagram as well.
Hey, me and Dana White want to know who's streaming tonight.
Oh, I love the zoom in. The zoom in on the eye kills me every time too. Who got a stream?
Yeah, it was definitely a rough weekend for Dana. I mean, because you're looking at he lost the battle versus the streamers. He talked all the shit about the streamers, and then his like legal platform just fell apart. Then you're looking at McGregor, his biggest draw, lost. And then Michael Chandler, a guy coming in from Bellator, knocked out one of his top 5 guys in the lightweight division. So
yeah,
rough weekend for Dana.
Like I said, seats probably slid a little bit, somewhere up that GoofCon scale at different points throughout the day. He was probably a little on edge. But Jaime comes in. Actually, cocaine is literally free where I live. Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah. Let De La Hoya know where that is, because
exactly. He'll be there in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That guy can still afford to get on a jet. He can probably get there pretty quick. But I mean, UFC first pay-per-view of the year. We saw what they could do last year as far as just getting these events on pretty regularly. So I think expect that to continue. I doubt we're going to have the same problems with the stream again. I'm sure they got people working on it, 24/7, like making sure this doesn't happen again. But
I did just want to say, because you were talking about they put it together. They actually announced a lot of really exciting upcoming fights. I just want to give like a quick rundown real quick here. So at UFC 258, we've got a welterweight title fight between Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns. I love Burns. Usman probably just going to wrestle fucking to death or just keep him up against the cage like he did against Paulo Costa. But still, title fight up there. At UFC 259, we got a 3 title fight card headlined by the light heavyweight division between the light heavyweight champ Jan Blachowicz and the welterweight champ, the middleweight champ Israel Adesanya, stepping up for that, going for that champ. Amanda Nunes will be defending her women's featherweight title against Morgan Anderson, so RIP Morgan Anderson. And the bantamweight title will be defended between Peter Yan and Aljamain Sterling. And then this one got me excited just because I really like both fighters. They announced at UFC 260 we'll have the rematch for the heavyweight title between Stipe Miocic and Francis Ngannou. That will just be bombs getting dropped nonstop. It'll also have a featherweight title fight between Alexander Volkanovski and Brian Ortega. And then I just saw, actually just before we got on the show, they announced a fight night coming up in April where the main event will be Bobby Knuckles, Robert Whittaker, and Paulo Costa. Again, 2 dudes that are just going to drop bombs on each other. So, they're setting stuff up real big to start the year, and I'm really loving it.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I think that was kind of the ESPN thing's been going on for a while, but they really leveraged it well, especially in the pandemic when there's just not a lot of sports going on.
Pandemic,
got that pandemic. Does Dana deserve an ass for this one? I could see him getting a light assing. But I don't have the ability to do that over the video, so in this case, he will be spared.
For now.
Justin wants
you're on notice, Dana.
Cyber Saban to take over the UFC streaming security.
Ooh,
could be worth it.
That's terrifying.
He can probably fit that in between recruiting trips and things like that. He can't really get out and about as much these days, but I can see it happen. Yeah, once he gets into that Skynet, it's over. He's going to shut it all down. But more of an awkward situation with the streaming thing. But other than that, I mean, still, as Tyler laid out there, plenty of tasty looking fights coming up. They're going to have another good year, so I'm not worried about that. Let's get into the football. As we said, it was the Final Four weekend. Well, let me get my comments here. Just adjusting here with my. You really on this, Paul? Jake Paul, Logan Paul. Hey, I wish I could. I wish I could forget about it.
Yeah, seriously.
Don't want it to happen. Trying to block that out. But we did have Final Four weekend, as we laid out for you guys going in. And I want to bring in, at this point in the show, always a good time to get friend of the program, No ID Justin, in on the Canada Steak Burger Celebrity Hotline, Bernie Sanders' favorite burger in San Diego, if you see the memes. Let's bring in Justin to the program. Justin, how are you doing this evening, my friend?
I'm doing good. It's windy, not quite as windy as where you're at, my friend.
Woo, it is cold as a witch's titty out here, let me tell you.
Yeah.
It is, I'm hurting, but I'm here for you guys. Always worth it to, hang out, get some comments, some calls. So let's get through this football here. Couple interesting results. I think, definitely the upset there in the first game. And of course, which we'll get into, Aaron Rodgers goes out like an ass again. Just a petty sore loser. But, man, that first half, it was like, Brady just flipped the goat switch. I mean, everything was working for Tampa Bay. They just jumped on him. Starting with, again, things, Aaron Rodgers is sort of, it's just always with this guy. Yes, he's good. I've said it before, but he just rubs me the wrong way. It's just not ever his fault for some reason. He's bashing the coach. He's yelling at his receivers, whatever. And there were some drops out there. Don't get me wrong, but Evans had some drops too. A couple, he redeemed himself, at certain points, but there was a few that was that's a bad look. But especially Rodgers throws the pick at the end of the first half, and the Bucs just jump him with that long touchdown to score with 1 second left. So that's kind of on you, or getting sacked 6 times. Or, everyone talks about extend the play. Well, it's you did have a lineman or two out, so maybe we got to get rid of that ball a little faster. JPP, I think Justin, I'll have to go back up. I saw your comment earlier. With whatever's left of his hand was getting after him with 2 sacks. And they just beat the crap out of him, honestly. It got weird there at the end of the game with the decision to go for the just take the field goal when you're still, on the one positive side of the 2-minute warning and with 3 timeouts. You never know because those guys can close so fast. It did look like on the replay Rodgers might have had a chance if he put his head down and just went for the end zone there. But, of course, that was his, that wasn't my call to make after the game, basically throwing it on the coach. He's if they would have told me, maybe I would have called something different on 3rd down. All right, dude, I get it. You're mad right now, but still, just wear it. And again, I was telling Tyler, we all know if the Bucs would have lost, Tom Brady would have been ghosted out of there, not shaking hands with anybody. But still, dude, it's just a Rodgers thing. I don't know. He just bugs me.
Man, tell me how you really feel. No.
Let me tell you about Aaron Rodgers.
So, I'll try and speed through this real quick. In terms of Rodgers on that specific play. I understand the whole concept of, I'm going to try, I didn't know, that we were going to kick the field goal there. I might have called a different play. I don't think, he would have made it to the end zone there. My point is take off, run, get out of bounds on, say, the 3, and then you force LaFleur's hand a little more. You know
if
what
you're
I'm saying?
down there, or at least half it to where you're not
I thought
at the 9-yard line going for goal.
Yeah, I really thought he should have made an effort to get the ball a little closer to the goal line. But regardless, LaFleur should have went for it in that situation. That's, it's a tough out. You saw a lot of comments were being made about Rodgers trying to fire up the defense to get a stop. Well, they got him a couple stops. Brady gifted him, three
Back-to-back
interceptions in a
picks.
second.
Yep.
For a second there, I was like, Jesus, dude, is Jameis back? Is Jameis Winston quarterbacking right now? Like, what's going on? He's just
He
throwing
wants to
it up.
eat. He wants to eat a dub.
I'm telling you, but the offense couldn't capitalize. And I know Bakhtiari being out makes a big difference, but
Sure.
that Green Bay O-line, they shut down, granted an injured, not 100%, but they shut down Aaron Donald last week. They shut down that Rams pass rush. So, there's really no excuse for how,
Yeah.
eight and a half finger JPP and Shaq Barrett are out there just wreaking havoc all game. Like I said, they sacked Rodgers 5 times, but I'm pretty sure they, I'd have to, yeah, there you go. I'd have to look at the number, for there was a lot of knockdowns, a lot of hurries, and then just real quick, an added point. I was bent to you guys a little bit. All these talking, whoa.
It's getting real in the field, boys. Yeah, see, I just wanted real quick. The Baron trying to take a shot. Oh, San Diego cold, what, 65? First of
Baron,
all,
it's the wind.
45.
It's
45
the
degrees, and the wind is at 27 miles
That wind
an
chill
hour.
factor is real.
West northwest.
Yeah,
West northwest.
these winds are no joke right now, Baron.
So
But yeah, all these people now that because of his cryptic comments after the game, people talking about Rodgers, man, we're gonna trade for Rodgers. Let me just throw a couple numbers out for a few people right now. Rodgers is under contract through 2023. Rodgers going into this season, his dead cap money would be $31.5 million, but his base salary is only 15. Next season, his dead cap money drops to 17, but his base salary jumps all the way up to 25. So next season is the out. For those of you that are, praying and wishing that your team would trade for Aaron Rodgers, it's not going to happen until next season. Now, granted, next season, he's gone. I don't see any way this is going to be like a Deshaun Watson situation. But that's the thing. I think people have this NBA mentality now. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, you can just kind of like, I'm just going to talk my way out.
Yeah, people have this NBA mentality now, though, where it's just like these guys can just leave whenever they want. It doesn't work that way. I'm even frustrated about Deshaun Watson. Like you all these problems were there before you put, pen to paper on your massive extension. So, it's tough. But yeah, man, Packers come up short again. People can say what they want about Aaron Rodgers. I think he is, one of the greatest passers of all time. But I mean, you're 1-5 in conference championship games. I mean, that's Rivers territory for playoff performances. Like that doesn't work.
How dare you, sir?
Yeah.
Slander on his name.
I will say I'm actually kind of glad that this whole Rodgers situation is taken away from, because as soon as the game ended, everybody was up in arms about the pass interference call at the end of the game. That cost Green Bay. Like, first of all, no, Green Bay's shitty offense in the second half cost Green Bay.
Yeah, 100%.
Secondly, even if it wasn't pass interference, let's say that ball's uncatchable. Like, he's still ripping the jersey out of the receiver, and that jersey is stretching like 3 feet.
The visual.
You could see, it's like, what are they going to do?
It is a call. Like, if you want to be mad that the refs weren't calling that all game and then until they decide to, that's fair. I will agree with you. Like, yeah, look, if that's a call in the fourth quarter, it's a call in the first quarter. That's how it should be. But it was an obvious penalty. Like, the refs have to throw that flag there. So yeah. I'm glad that Rodgers' shittiness was taken away from that, because I felt like that's just going to be what we're going to hear for the next couple of days. So
It is.
Yeah, the main thing for me was the 3 picks you get. Like, that never happens really in any playoff game. Not with Brady usually as well. And then 2 of those just lead to 3 and outs. And then you get points off the third one. But still, like, that's like gold in a playoff game. Like, you got to cash in on those. Like, that just doesn't happen.
It's funny to say.
Go ahead,
I was just going to say, it's funny you said gold, because they've been preaching the gold zone, all year about getting the points. That's been the Packers thing. And just real quick, one other ad. There was that situation where they were, first and goal from, I want to say like the 8 or the 9 or something like that. 3 straight passes to Devontae Adams. Like, you literally have 3 fully capable backs. And I understand Aaron Jones might have been banged up, but shit, dude, this is what you guys got Dylan for. You know what I mean? Like, pound the rock at least once or twice, and that's the thing to me is like, okay, so on 4th and 8 with almost 2 minutes left in an 8-point game, you're not going to trust your MVP quarterback. But early in the game, when you have a situation to use the run and try and, establish something on the ground, that's when you're like, okay, we're gonna put it all on Aaron and Devontae. That just didn't make sense to me. LaFleur really shit himself. There's no other way about it against head coach Tom Brady.
And
Yeah.
yes, he's back in the Super Bowl. The ageless wonder, Tom Brady.
Yeah, and also to Ronnie's point about him, Rodgers rubbing him the wrong way. Like, yeah, it. I couldn't help but find the irony in that, you saw Rodgers screaming at his defense to like make plays, and then they get those turnovers, and he does nothing with them. I mean, that's the toughest look right there, dude. If you're going to scream at your guys, you got to bring it on your end.
Can't have it both ways, man.
No,
But we'll see what happens. I'm sure, like I said, obviously you're pissed after losing the game. I get it. Just kind of like a bad look. I mean, just like, well, basically mentioning everything except like, oh yeah, there was, I left some plays out there. Could have did this or, whatever. Just like straight to the like, well, I'm just going to say it wasn't my fault. They didn't get him any weapons. It's a coach didn't know what he was. I'm like, oh my God, dude, again with this? Come on.
Yeah, and don't want to gloss over. Brady played really well for one half. I think that first half he had 200 plus yards, 2 TDs. Yeah. Second half he had 70 yards, 3 picks. So I mean, tale of two halves. But he did enough in the first half to win. And his defense, Justin, you said it best, man. His D line was just getting after it all game. I think I saw some stat that Rodgers has only sacked like 16 times this year, and 10 of them were by Tampa Bay in their 2 games. So. Yeah. I mean, that D-line, that front four was just, they were on their game, man.
And just the stones on Tom Brady to come out in that short yardage situation and chuck one up to Scotty Miller. You know what I mean? Like, are you kidding me, dude? Like, that's just, there is no Drew Brees arm strength questions with Tom Brady, dude. 43 years old. That fool was dropping dimes yesterday, man.
Still there, yep.
Well, let's get into the second one here with the last 10 minutes or so we have on the show. The nightcap. Buffalo, which we talked about before, I mean, they were really looking good. So you saw that line come way down to like 3, where Kansas City last week, I mean, yeah, it was the Browns, but still the Browns had some momentum going, and it was like 10.5 or something. So, which they covered. But, yeah, Allen just didn't look like, his normal self that we've seen later in the season this year. He looked like they were getting after him. They were making him kind of revert back to some of what we saw when he was, like a rookie and in his earlier days, like trying to take off and run more, rolling out to the right, just sort of like trying to make stuff happen. I mean, that fool can sling it though. He still has like a couple throws every game where I'm like, dang, this fool's strong. Like, so if he'll just throw it across his body and just whip it like 50 yards across the field. But, yeah, unfortunately, Kansas City looks like they are on the warpath. I was always afraid this season that it was just like maybe they're just bored right now. We saw the 7-9 against the spread, but they always have like a crazy like, oh, they're favored by 13, 15 points. I'm like, that's kind of unrealistic in the NFL. But yeah, they're kind of looking like that team that's peaking right now. I mean, you have to say Tampa Bay is too. Obviously, they're the last 2 teams left, but I mean, the Chiefs peaking. It's just going to be a different peak than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers peaking. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is a scary one for Tampa Bay for sure. In terms of the Buff, full disclosure, not even gonna lie, started to fall asleep, man. Started to fall asleep in that Buffalo KC game. I was so hyped for it, man. And then as soon as
it just wasn't, yeah.
As soon as Buffalo went down 2 scores, it's like even when they jumped out 9-0, I among I'm sure so many other people was just like, yeah, that's not going to be enough. And then just as they kept kicking field goals and shit, I'm going, dude, guys, this isn't going to work.
You can't keep up the pace with this. Yeah, honestly,
you got to go for TDs. You have to.
Great start. They go down and get the 1 field goal, and then you get the turnover where you basically just cash that in. But even that, like, when they missed the extra point, I was like, dude, I feel like even that, they're going to want that back. Like, once the Chiefs start going and scoring, like, you're going to want every single point that you left out there. So,
I've heard of. Well, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, you just can't like mess around with these dudes. Like, if you can have some momentum on your side, you just got to keep going until like, all right, maybe like, all right, well, we forced it a little too hard, turn the ball over. Chiefs score a couple times, like get back in the game, whatever. But like, anytime you kind of have them backed up on their heels, you got to keep just like going for the throat because they only need like, I don't know, 5 minutes of clock they can score like 2 or 3 times.
And I've heard all sorts of crazy stats about Mahomes. You know, you've heard like the Chiefs are 25-1 in their last 26 games when he starts. You know who that one is, baby. You know who that one is. But you know, like I heard one. You know, like I think he's only lost like 4 games as a starter, and the lowest amount of points, the lowest amount of points that a team has scored to beat Patrick Mahomes is 36. You know, like that's insane. Like you
That's
essentially have to
crazy.
you essentially have to score 40 points to beat Patrick Mahomes. And that's a testament to like people that want to say, you know, Rodgers don't get enough help. Stafford don't get enough help. You know, I'm right there with a lot of people in terms of Stafford, you know, Rodgers to a certain degree. But like when you see a guy like that guy will not lose, like that guy's guaranteed to get you 35. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's insane, you know, like and for what it's worth, I know Rodgers in his 1-5 in his conference championship games, his defenses have allowed some points. But I think he's only been around like 20, 24, 25 points, you know, offensively in those games. I think one of them even 17. So, you know, like if you're the guy, you got to give your team a chance. And that's why, you know, a lot of people have said it. I've said it before. I'm sure you guys have said it. Mahomes is just a rare breed, man. They don't, you know, there's something
And you
special to
can't. I mean,
him.
what are you gonna do? Like, you can't double Hill and Kelsey at the same time. So it's
No,
like
no.
you got anywhere in the way, like anyone he could go to.
So
Like
that's the
good running
question.
backs too.
That's the massive question I had just watching the game after the game. Like, I get how Tyreek Hill can get open. That dude has unreal speed. How is Kelsey open every play? Every play. Like, he had, 13 catches, and most of them there was nobody within 5 yards of him. How do you let that happen?
When the
do not
camera
understand.
pans down and you just see like huge ass Kelsey just like by himself in the middle of the field, I'm like, how does this keep happening?
Yeah, no, it is. It's similar to one of those things. Yeah, you know, I know you guys had mentioned a couple weeks ago. How's Devontae Adams always open? You know what I
True.
mean? It's like, you know, like I think Kelsey's just a rare breed. You know, he played some quarterback. He's a supreme athlete. You know, he's almost like, you know, a more athletic, a faster Gronk. You know, in a lot of ways, a
Yeah.
better route
A
runner.
good
He runs
blocker
really
too.
crisp routes. Yeah, and that's, you know,
Yeah.
you mentioned the blocking. I was tweeting that out during the game. Gronk is an animal. Like Gronk is another O lineman. To watch him block, it's
Oh,
almost
yeah.
like he came back out of retirement just to show people, like, watch me this year how great of a blocker I am,
Yeah.
too.
Well,
You
you
guys
saw
should
what he
be
did in the
fantastic.
Washington game.
Yeah,
Didn't he say that like week 3 or week 4? Like somebody asked him, like, you haven't got a touchdown? He goes, look, I'm a blocker now.
I came here to
yeah,
block. What's up,
yeah.
guy?
Dude, he's you know, block parties and you
Yep,
know, pass blocking. That's what he does, dude. So
that's it.
Yes, I am inclined to
yeah,
agree. I'm saying we're not going to get more videos of people doing terrible things to their bodies, but for all y'all do to your bodies,
the
thank y'all.
foldable table market's really gonna take a hit. You know, like
Yeah, hey,
But
look,
lives will be spared.
they had their best week ever this week in foldable
oh yeah,
tables. Now
for
it's just
sure.
all downhill.
Their best year, dude. Their
Yeah.
best run.
You know what, though? I got to take this clip out in a literal blaze of glory because I just love it so much. One more time, run it back for the Bills Mafia.
That's
You know what
it.
else I like about the Bills? And I don't know what the explanation is for this, but at whatever the weird fascination, obsession with Zubaz pants is, I always see like hella
It's a
people with
wrestling thing,
Zubaz.
dude. It's a pro wrestling
Yeah.
thing. Wrestlers used to wear Zubaz like crazy.
Always in the stands rocking Zubaz in Bills colors. I dig it.
Hey,
It
they're
makes-
comfortable, dude. They're so
I was gonna
comfortable.
say they must be durable in the elements too. I feel like the two of us breathing the elements right now, we could use a pair of those to test them in the wind. You know, maybe they're like ultra windbreakers, like
Dude,
Kevlar
if this fool was
windbreakers.
wearing Zubaz,
Yeah.
this would be my favorite picture of
Yeah.
all time. If that fool had
Bruce,
some
man.
Zubaz on, that's the big homie. Like literally the big homie, Bills fan.
Oh, man.
Man, just hopefully that fool at least owns some Zubaz because I gotta see that. But also, just one last thing I did want to hit on. You know, we got like 1 or 2 minutes here. The weird sequence at the end of the game with the sort of fight penalty thing, where Allen flips the ball in that fool's face, and then guy stands over him. Then he comes like kind of mean mugs him. The linemen come in like truck that guy out. I just love the sorting out of all the penalties. Like the fool in a notebook. He's like, all right. He's standing in front of the guy making the announcement. He's like, all right, now you got to mention 56 was in on it, 72. Like the only way you could keep track of it, and then it's just like, and that all.
And then after all that, he just goes, "Fuck it, offsetting."
It's
I can't even
it's
figure
the
it out.
necessary roughness scene, you know.
Yes,
We got a
yes,
half insecurity kick to the leg. We got a judo chop to the right knee. You know, like he's ringing.
Oh yeah,
them
that
up.
you definitely can't do that. Oh yeah, I saw that guy with a knife. Okay, well,
You know, I immediately, you know, I didn't do it, but I wanted to take the easy layup approach and just say, "Damn, that was the most accurate pass Josh Allen threw all day." You know, like,
hey,
but,
got him right in the face,
may
man.
not be
So you gotta
wrong,
bring
you
those
know,
in.
like it's yeah, no, that was an odd situation, dude. Yeah, that guy, you know, I get, you know, like the guys that, you know, they're talking about, oh, he spit on me and stuff like that. Like, dude, he just threw the ball at you. I can't imagine that hurt or scared you or
Yeah,
caused
like
any, you know,
as a
like,
flip. I don't know. That fool's got a cannon though. I mean, who
I'm,
knows? That ball
I'm
comes
immediately,
out.
I'm immediately looking at Josh Allen and pointing at the scoreboard. You know what I mean? Like, you're
Yeah.
not hurting my feelings throwing a ball at me. So,
Just hit
yeah,
him with
no,
a quick, like, suck it and walk away.
I've heard that though. The Chiefs kind of. I know Tyreek talks a lot. I think the Chiefs, you know, they're brash as shit. Kelsey talks a lot. Like they are not liked by their opponents, and you know it's gonna be a feisty Super Bowl, man. For as good as both of these offenses are, it's gonna be a hellish defensive battle, man. Like on both sides, it's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah, I am excited. I mean, I'm not rooting for the Chiefs, for the love of God, no. So,
No.
hey, and what's another one to Tom Brady at this point? I mean,
Exactly.
the guy's
True.
won at life at like every turn. So, hey, I mean, some of us just, you know, born to win. So,
No, this is our trade-off as Lakers fans. We got our title with LeBron. We have to suffer through another title with Tom Brady. I don't want Mahomes getting 2 in a row this early in his career. I don't want him to already
well,
be in
plus,
the
you
GOAT
know, Belichick
conversation.
is going to be super burnt if Tom goes over to a new team and gets one.
Belichick's gonna show up at fucking Kansas City's facility for the next 2 weeks. Like, hey, I'm gonna help you guys out here.
So, yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, he's gonna be breaking down film of a punter for them.
But that with that note, we got to get out of here. We're a couple minutes over time. Thank you guys, as always, for joining. That's why I'm out here in the frozen tundra of San Diego, braving the elements so we can hang out with you guys and just, you know, talk shit about sports. Always love seeing you guys in the comments. Thank you, Justin, for calling in. We do have a nice Super Bowl, but Pro Bowl, Madden Pro
Bowl,
is
baby.
the
Let's do
event
it.
of the season coming up. So you guys be safe out there. We'll get back with you on Wednesday. Friday might still be up in the air because I am going on vacation, but I'm going to try to do it remotely. Always accept that challenge. Hey, I had to get the snow gear out. Going to Utah, baby. But we will see you on Wednesday for sure. So again, thank you to Justin. Thank you to Tyler. Tyler, you got any like parting shots you want to get off here?
Nah, man, just good show, boys. Thanks so much for calling in, Justin. Always a pleasure, especially talking to you about the fight game this weekend. That was fun. It
was fun.
Little
That
chat.
was fun.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back on Wednesday. You know the drill. Keep the fire.
Keep the fire. Someone bring me a fire, please.
At the buzzer.